Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here at Gamefromscratch. Today we've got some pretty major news in the world of game development business, specifically around the world of the Godot game engine, and that is W4 Games just got a big bucket of cash. Now, what the hell is a W4 Games, and what the heck do they have to do with Godot? Well, W4 Games was founded by the founder, or at least one of the founders of Godot, specifically Juan Linietsky. On top of that, Remy, the head of the community, Fabio, Nicola, other people key in the world of game development in the Godot ecosystem are all involved in this one. Now, this is a company all about providing things in the Godot ecosystem that Godot isn't really good at. Being a fully open source product, for example, it can't support consoles. So that is where they've got, for example, the W4 consoles. So if you have this private code there that you need under NDA to work on a consoles, that is exactly the kind of things that W4 Games are going to provide. So if you want to bring your Godot game over to the PlayStation or the Xbox, for example, they provide a middleware solution for doing that built on top of Godot. On top of that, they're also contributing back to Godot development. So for example, in order to support Xbox development, they had to develop a Direct3D 12 renderer, which has been contributed back to Godot as well. So while this is not part of the Godot Foundation, they in turn support Godot, and I actually believe they contribute to the Godot Foundation as well. And of course, some of the very key people, such as the project manager and the lead developer of the Godot team, are employed and owners of W4 Games. So it's sort of a symbiotic relationship between the two. On top of that, they've also got a cloud solution here for, all your cloud gaming, leaderboards, matchmaking, that kind of stuff. They're providing a solution for that as well. This isn't really available as of yet. Their big product, of course, is W4 consoles. And the reason why we're talking about them again is, once again, they just got a big bucket of cash. How big of a bucket of cash? Well, we'll get to that in just a second. It's $15 million. That's a lot of cash. And on top of that, they actually got an earlier investment. We'll see some of that in just a second. So they've got some pretty big names of people, including a number of angel investors and OSS Capital, which is an open source themed investment fund of sorts, have invested in it. Now, this first part is a blah, blah, blah. You guys know what a game is. You know what the game industry is, right? So we'll get on past that. We at W4 Games are going all in on the creation of an ecosystem with the Godot engine at its center. The free open source technology of the Godot engine empowers developers to create stunning 2D and 3D games, and we believe it will become the most used game engine in the world within the decade. Driving video game development to new heights, it is already the preferred game engine for new generations of game developers and will scale exponentially further thanks to its fast learning curve, intuitive design, and fast-growing and welcoming community. To help our continued growth, we are thrilled to announce a new $15 million Series A funding round led by OSS Capital and him. Other investors include them, and them. So you're talking some big companies here previously are in it: AngelList, AirChat, Xelastic, Sugar CRM, OpenSea, GitHub, Anchorage Digital, and GitLab are all among the people that are funding this solution. W4 Games will strengthen our role within the Godot ecosystem by supporting its open source development and continuing to build products and services to facilitate Godot's expansion, such as W4 consoles, an approved middleware console, porting solution for Godot games, and W4 Cloud, a multi-tenant service to support millions of users. Moreover, we will target international expansion across North America, Europe, and Asia, and the development of a new Godot education program. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if this will actually be a certification program. That was one of those things that was huge in the world of Unity, and then they actually got rid of it. But having an education base in place so that you can know that the person you're hiring at least has a base minimum level of knowledge could definitely be a useful platform there. With the new funding, W4 Games aims to add more than double its headcount in the coming 18 months to capture the fast-growing demand for its products and services. W4 and the Godot community mark the first time in history that the now $300 billion plus gaming industry is seeing fundamental disruption and acceleration of innovations thanks to open source. OSS Capital is proud to deepen our partnership with W4 towards an open future in gaming. So that is the whole deepen our investment. As I mentioned earlier on, there was a previous investment here. That was back in September 2022. They received an $8.5 million investment. Pretty much the same people. So it was OSS Capital, Lux Capital were the big people there in that initial investment. So between the two, if my math skills work, so we got $8 20.5, and we have 15, so they have $23.5 million in funding. I don't know what their burn rate is. I don't actually think it would be that huge. I don't even know if they're a virtual company or if they have offices, or etc. But it is definitely an interesting development. Now, I know some people are a little scared about this, specifically in how it applies to the Godot engine. You're like, okay, well, these guys have $13.5 million, or whatever the hell number was, $18.5 million. There goes my math skills. Why should I contribute to Godot? And it's a legit question, but they are different organizations. And in fact, W4 Games is committing back to Godot and also employs some of the major employees working on Godot. So like I said, it's more of a symbiotic relationship than it is, just a raw parasitic kind of taking of funds from Godot. It actually benefits Godot, but Godot is a separate thing. And do keep in mind, if W4 Games went out of business and just completely exploded, they don't own the trademarks or anything else. Godot would continue fine. So that is why you would ultimately rather fund Godot. Well, you can't fund W4 Games other than, I guess, by being a customer. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is today's announcement. W4 Games has raised $15 million. By the way, these are... So that's Remy, and that's Juan, the project lead and the lead developer on the Godot project. If you've never physically seen them before, that is them. And yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think of W4 Games, of it receiving like $23.5 million. It sounds like an astronomical sum of money, but in the world of investments, it's peanuts. It's 1/1000th of the value of like Unreal or Unity at this point in time. So it's interesting. I do like the fact that they are providing the things that Godot can't necessarily do while it's open source, like that console support. I will be interested to see if it's ultimately W4 Games that provides the app store that Godot desperately needs, or if it will be the Godot Foundation. I think Godot Foundation on that one, but it'll be interesting going forward to see which is which. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. Talk to you all later. Goodbye.